What can you do to reduce the effect of global warming at personal level at home and in your life? When you hear about global warming, it often feels too big to handle, like something only governments or big companies can fix. But the truth is, your daily choices at home can make a real difference, and they add up faster than you think. Your outdoor space can act as a carbon sink while supporting local biodiversity. Plant useful plants. Rather than exposed soil or lawns, trees and plants cool the environment and the ground, so they will reflect less heat toward the house. Some native trees require less water, fertilizer, and are better at capturing carbon than traditional lawns. Plant shade trees. Strategically placing trees on the appropriate sides of your home can naturally lower indoor temperatures during summer, reducing AC usage. Create a compost pile. Diverting food scraps and yard waste from landfills prevents the production of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Plus, it creates nutrient-rich soil for your garden. The reduce, reuse, recycle mantra remains vital, with a heavy emphasis on reduction. Reduce meat consumption. Animal agriculture is a major driver of emissions. Incorporating more plant-based meals into your weekly routine significantly lowers your environmental impact. Eliminate single-use plastics. Plastic production is highly carbon-intensive. Switching to reusable bags, bottles, and containers keeps plastic out of the waste stream. Fix instead of replace. Repairing electronics, clothing, furniture, and, may I say, cars prevents the carbon cost associated with manufacturing and shipping new products. 5. Water conservation. Processing and heating water requires a surprising amount of energy. Install low-flow fixtures. High-efficiency shower heads and faucets reduce water waste without sacrificing pressure. Collect rainwater. Use rain barrels to collect water for your garden, reducing the demand on municipal water systems. Every small adjustment helps shift the needle. Which of these areas feels the most achievable for you to start with today? Your comments are welcome. Global warming mainly comes from gases like carbon dioxide, and about 70% of these emissions come from energy use, transport, and food systems. But small personal changes in these areas can reduce your own footprint by 20 to 50% over time. While we are in the middle of the video, if you think this video is useful, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. It is a simple help to me, encouraged to make more videos. Lighting is one of the simplest things to fix. Traditional bulbs waste about 80% of their energy as heat, but LED lights use about 75% less energy and last up to 25 times longer. If an average home replaces all bulbs with LEDs, it can cut lighting energy use by more than half. But it also reduces electricity bills, so it saves money while helping the planet. Appliances are another hidden source of emissions. Many devices keep using power, even when turned off. This is called standby power. But this can account for 5 to 10% of household electricity use. Turning appliances off at the wall or using power strips works well to stop this waste. But it is something people often ignore because the devices seem small. Heating and cooling take the biggest share of energy in most homes, sometimes up to 40%. But even a small change in temperature settings can have a big impact. Setting your air conditioner just 1 degree higher in summer can reduce energy use by around 10%, but it still keeps your home comfortable. In winter, lowering heating by 1 degree can also save about 10%, but wearing a warm layer indoors works just as well and costs nothing. Insulation is another powerful step. A well-insulated home can reduce heating and cooling energy by up to 50%, but many houses lose heat through windows, roofs, and walls without people noticing. Simple actions like sealing gaps around doors and using curtains at night work well to keep heat in or out. but they are often overlooked because they seem too basic. Water use also matters more than people think. Heating water uses a lot of energy, sometimes around 20% of home energy use. But reducing hot water use can cut both water and energy waste. Shorter showers can save up to 20 liters of water per minute, but also reduce the energy needed to heat that water. Fixing leaking taps works better than people expect. A single dripping tap can waste over 10,000 liters of water per year, but fixing it takes just a few minutes. Now let's talk about food, because what you eat has a strong link to global warming. But many people do not connect their plate to the planet. Food production creates about 25 to 30% of global emissions. And meat, especially beef, is one of the biggest contributors. But plant-based foods usually have a much lower footprint. Reducing meat consumption, even by a few meals per week, can cut your food-related emissions by up to 20%. But you do not need to become fully vegetarian to make a difference. Food waste is another major issue. About 1/3 of all food produced is wasted globally. But when food is thrown away, all the energy used to produce it is also wasted. Planning meals and storing food properly works well to reduce waste, but it also saves money and effort. Composting food scraps is another simple step. It reduces landfill waste and methane emissions, but it also creates useful soil for plants. Transport is another big part of daily life, and it is responsible for about 15 to 20% of global emissions. But small changes in how you travel can lower this impact. Walking or cycling for short trips works better than using a car, but it also improves your health at the same time. Using public transport can reduce emissions by up to 45% compared to driving alone. But many people avoid it because they think it is less convenient. Car sharing or combining trips also works well to cut fuel use, but it requires just a bit of planning. If you are buying a car, choosing a fuel-efficient or electric vehicle can reduce emissions by 50% or more. But even keeping your current car well-maintained improves fuel efficiency. Air travel has a high impact. One long flight can produce more emissions than a whole year of daily driving for some people. But reducing unnecessary flights can make a big difference. Now think about the products you buy, because every item has a hidden environmental cost. But people often focus only on the price, not the impact. Producing goods uses energy and resources, and fast fashion alone creates about 10% of global emissions. But buying fewer and better quality items works well to reduce this. Reusing and repairing items instead of throwing them away also cuts waste, but it also saves money over time. Recycling helps too, but it is not a perfect solution. Only about 9% of plastic is actually recycled worldwide. But reducing plastic use is far more effective. Using reusable bags, bottles, and containers works better than single-use items, but it requires building a small habit in daily life. Energy sources matter as well. Switching to renewable energy where possible can reduce household emissions significantly, but not everyone has direct access to solar panels. If you can install solar panels, they can cut electricity emissions by up to 80%, but they also reduce electricity bills over time. Even choosing a green energy plan from your provider works well to support renewable energy, but many people are not aware of this option. Planting trees or growing plants around your home also helps. Plants absorb carbon dioxide and cool the environment, but they also improve air quality and mental well-being. Shaded areas with trees are up to 10 to 15 degrees centigrade cooler than unshaded areas, which will affect the inside temperature. Urban areas can be several degrees hotter due to concrete and lack of greenery, but adding plants can reduce this heat effect. Water-wise gardening is another good step. Using native plants reduces water use by up to 60%, but it also supports local ecosystems. Talking about these changes with friends and family works better than staying silent. because social influence is powerful. But people often underestimate how much their actions inspire others. Research shows that when one person adopts energy-saving habits, people around them are more likely to follow. But this creates a ripple effect that grows over time. Voting and supporting policies that protect the environment also matters, because large-scale change needs public support. But personal actions and public action work best together. Tracking your own progress can motivate you. Simple apps or notes can show how much energy or waste you reduce. But seeing results makes the effort feel real. It is easy to feel that one person cannot change anything. But when millions of people make small changes, the total impact becomes massive. If a household reduces its emissions by just 1 ton per year, and 1 million households do the same, that is 1 million tons of emissions reduced. But this shows how powerful collective action can be. The key is not to be perfect, but to be consistent, because small steps done every day work better than big steps done once. But consistency builds lasting habits. If you think this video is useful, click the like button and subscribe to my channel. It is a simple help to encourage me to make more videos.